The case has been filed at the High Court against Supreme Court Judge Dr. Abdul to determine that he is not deemed fit for the bench under the Constitution. MNBC One received information that two legal representatives filed this case in the High Court, although the court has not yet verified this or accepted the case into the court. The Constitution says that all members of the Supreme Court must be 30 years and should have 7 years experience as a lawyer or in the legal field, and should have attained tertiary education in Islamic Sharia or common law. The filed case says that Dr. Abdul only has a limited experience, as he was the Deputy Attorney General for over a little more than 3 months and as the Consul General of the Parliament for a short period. Thus, the required 7 years experience is lacked. The lower court earlier dismissed a similar case, stating that it was not their mandate to rule on decisions made by the Parliament. The court says the court case of Deputy Speaker of the Parliament Ahmed Nazim is scheduled to resume on November 9th at the Civil Court. Charges of corruption and fraud is raised against MP Nazim in connection to a project of government which was carried out by the Atos Ministry. MP Nazim allegedly won the project by corruption and deposited the money to his private account. The case was first sent to the Civil Court on September 1, 2009. After the court rejected the case, a PG's office again sent Nazim's case into the court on November 11th. The case was accepted for trial on 17th of November. More than 2 months after, Civil Court scheduled the first hearing of the case to February 2010, but later called it off, citing administrative reasons. The administrative reasons repeated for a second time when the Civil Court rescheduled the date. After rescheduling the hearing for a third time, the first hearing of this case took place on 14th March 2010. The second hearing was held 3 months later on 17th of June. Before the case proceeded, Nazim's lawyer requested some documents from the government. In regard to this case, the hearing was adjourned to give the prosecutors time to prepare the documents requested by the defense lawyers. But since the case is dragged without a hearing, Civil Court had scheduled the hearing of this case 7 times, out of which 5 hearings were cancelled. The Centre for Community Health and Disease Control is bracing up to prevent the country from a possible anthrax outbreak. The centre reveals that the possibility of Maldives being affected by the outbreak in neighbouring Bangladesh is very little. Anthrax virus usually affects animals, but with consumption of affected meat and close contact with affected animals can cause the virus to spread to humans. Centre for Community Health and Disease says no case of human-to-human transfer of the virus has been recorded. The centre informs that a strain of a virus which affects the skin is spreading in Bangladesh. This is the least lethal and most easily treatable kind of anthrax. Bangladesh has set up anthrax checkpoints at cattle markets, and major outbreak of the disease spreads through the country's dietary belt, infecting more than 400 people. 8 districts have confirmed human cattle anthrax infections and meat consumption. The Bangladeshi government last week put livestock and health officials on red alert, suspended all leave in the livestock department, and sent emergency veterinarian teams to affected districts. Officials have described the outbreak as the biggest in the country's history, although there have been no deaths so far. Anthrax is a potentially lethal bacterium that exists naturally in soil, commonly infects livestock which ingest or inhale its spores while grazing. It can be transmitted to humans who handle or eat infected animals. Scores of cows have died in the current outbreak, which started August 18th, causing panic among farmers and consumers. Since Maldives does not rear cattle, an outbreak is fairly restricted, says the Centre for Community Health and Disease Control. Looking into the latest update into the Help Pakistan telethon, the latest information shows that the telethon has raised over 1,084,865 rupiah 11 lari. This comes with the highest contribution from SMS donations, which have a total of 473,715 rupiah. With the other donations for the fund, a total of 4,722,543. The grand total of the fund now stands at 5,864,468 rupiah 11 lari. The Pakistan Alliance, a group which consists of 5 political parties and 26 civil organizations, also raised funds over 3.4 million rupiah for the flood victims. According to the PK Alliance, a sum of 3,411,622 rupiah has been contributed to the fund. PK Alliance was the first Maldivian group to start fundraising for the victims of the Pakistani floods. PK Alliance say now they are holding discussions with Maldives Monetary Authority on how to the best policy to utilize when sending the money to the Pakistani people. Lala International Youth Group and a bunch of kids from Mali also donated money to the Prime Minister's flood relief fund at the Pakistani High Commission. The money was handed over at separate ceremonies today. The children from a Maldivian family donated 5,555 rupiah 55 laris. Pakistani High Commission Akhtar Ali Salehri said the fact that children are concerned about the situation represents that the whole population of Maldives, from children to elders, are today with Pakistan. The students, staff and parents of Lale Youth International School also donated 9,200 rupiah to the Pakistani High Commission. The Prime Minister's Relief Fund has now received over almost 6 million rupiah. An 11-year-old girl from Maldives wins second place at the 18th International Quran competition in Egypt. She beat almost all adult competitors in the competition as the youngest participant. Rifta Muhammad Rashid, who studies in Arabiya School, competed in the non-Arab category. She was placed second in the competition with 95 points, just 1 point behind the first place winner from India. Rifta finished the first round of the competition with the highest score and came in second in the final leg. The competition, held in Egypt from the 29th of August till the 5th of September, was competed by 100 participants from 68 countries. Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak handed the prize money of 20,000 Egyptian pounds at an awards ceremony held on the eve of the 27th of Ramadan.